Hey, what up? It's Ty1822 here to review Impact Wrestling. So Impact Wrestling kicks off with the director's operations, Kurt Angle. So Kurt Angle mentioned tonight it will be a couple titles on the line. For the TNA Tag Team titles, the Wolves versus Brand and Magnus. For the TNA Knockouts title, Gail Kim with the fair belt against Madison Rayne, Angelina Love, and Brittany. For the TNA X Division title, Austin Aries versus Sonata. Then he mentioned tonight it will be a 20-man over-the-top battle royal for the TNA World Heavyweight Champion against Lashley next week in New York City. So then Kurt Angle calls out Willow. Kurt Angle letting Willow know. Now, I know Jeff Hardy had problems with Dixie Carter, so he went to the dark side. Now that she's no longer in charge, MVP no longer in charge, I need the number one competitor in Impact Wrestling to return tonight, Jeff Hardy. So Willow and Kurt Angle shook hands. But will Jeff Hardy return tonight? I'll get to that. First match tonight for the TNA Tag Team titles, the Wolves versus Bram and Magnus. This was a very good tag team match right here. The Wolves retained their tag team titles. Robert Roode came out, and Robert Roode was talking about, what LVP did. He suspended him. So then, LVP came out in his wheelchair telling Robert Roode, what I did for you was actually good. So then he was telling Robert Roode, if it wasn't for you attacking me last week, I could have been cleared. But no, I am not clear. So I'm still not able to compete against you. So then Robert Roode came out the ring to attack LVP. Then Kenny Kane attacked Robert Roode. Even though LVP knee messed up, he still got a couple shots in on Robert Roode. So then Eric Young came out to make the save, but then Lashley finished that off right there. I love Kenny Kane, LVP, Lashley stable, and they showed a video package when it was LVP, Kenny Kane, and Lashley in the gym, and they were showing Lashley training with the TNA World title around his waist. He was doing bench presses, pull-ups. It looked so badass. It was a great video package right there by TNA. For the X Division title, Sonata versus Austin Aries. This was a good match right here. The crowd was, of course, pro Austin Aries. And at first, I thought Austin Aries had the victory when he hit the brain buster on Sonata. Then Sonata kicked out. But then Austin Aries finished off Sonata with a 450 splash to become the new TNA World Heavyweight Champion. Then Austin Aries, cut a backstage promo saying how he was the guy that created Option C. So no doubt he will trade his TNA X Division title belt in for a World Heavyweight title match at TNA Destination X in New York City. I can't wait for the tapings in New York and start next week. I am so pumped. I heard great things about it. Bully Ray came out and he was talking about, long time ago, Bam Bam Bigelow, told him a story. The crowd popping in right there. Bam Bam Bigelow, one of the most underrated wrestlers of all time to me. And he was talking about Rhino. Rhino attacked him last week. He thought Rhino was his friend. So Rhino came out with EC3 and Rockstar Spud. And this was a good segment right here. And he was wondering why he did this. He was like, why are you working for Dixie Carter? So then Rhino was like, you know what, Bully? I was sitting back and I watched the Hall of Fame and I see you. You are a con man. You conned out Paul Heyman, which I didn't expect a Paul Heyman name drop. So then he was just pissed off at Bully Ray. Keep calling him a con man for all the stuff he did. That you not a friend of mine. So then Bully Ray was like, you know what, Rhino, you just jealous. It's nothing but jealousy. It was your fault you got fired from WWE. I expect a WWE name drop and a Paul Heyman name drop in the same night. He said, you the reason why you got fired from TNA years ago. So Rhino pissed off, tell him to shut the hell up before I attack you. So then EC3 telling Bully Ray, I'm going to keep on paying Rhino. I don't care. So then Bully Ray went to attack EC3, but then Rhino gives Bully Ray another gore, just like he did last week. This was a very good segment, man. And Rhino be having some really good promos in TNA. He had some the last couple of years. He had a good one tonight. Oh, so then after that too, I've got to mention that Tommy Dreamer made the save. He took the candlestick and hit EC3 and Rhino with it. For the TNA Knockouts title, Angela Love, Madison Rayne, Gail Kim, and Brittany. I didn't care for this match at all. Gail Kim retained her TNA Knockouts title. The Battle Royal. I mentioned a couple names from their entrance. Eric Young, EC3, Trouble, 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 Trouble. Love that theme song. Robert Roode with new tights, the longer ones. Not used to it, of course, because it's brand new. But you know, hey, Robert going new look just like James Storm did. Bully Ray and the returning Jeff Hardy. Now, this Battle Royal match was solid. And let me get down to the final four. It came in between Jeff Hardy, Kenny King, Robert Roode, and Eric Young. So, MVP ended up taking one of his crutches, hit Robert Roode right in the stomach. So, Kenny King eliminated Robert Roode. So, then Eric Young eliminated Kenny King. So, it came down between Eric Young and Jeff Hardy. And then to stand off, the crowd popped for it. So, Jeff Hardy eliminates Eric Young after drop kicking him, and Eric Young falls off the ropes. Jeff Hardy will face Lashley for the TNA World title next week in New York City. So then JB comes in the ring, talks to Jeff Hardy about his match next week for the world title. So Jeff Hardy said, Lashley's a tough guy, but I can't get his stream. Then the champion Lashley came out, steered Jeff Hardy in the face, put the TNA title right up in the air. So next week, that will be your championship match. Lashley versus Jeff Hardy for the TNA World Heavyweight title. And tonight, Impact Wrestling was a good show. This was a wrestling show. Not a lot of talk, a wrestling show. And I'm loving how Kurt Angle is opening up the show and not taking up a lot of time. Kurt Angle get right to the point. So far, Kurt Angle been a great director of operations on Impact Wrestling. And tonight's show was a good show. Impact Wrestling been a lot better over the last couple weeks. So don't forget, hit the subscribe button. I'm out. Peace.